If you just say no, what are you saying yes to?
We say yes to education. We say yes to dedication. We climb up to a higher station, a new spiritual motivation to make a positive impact on our nation.
Money, 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 money. Just enough for the city, living. Just for the city I'm living. Just enough. Ooh, I'm living in a new Jack City. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss New Jack City. Now, this movie is from 1991. It stars Wesley Snipes, Payne, Ice-T, everybody. Now, before I get into all things, what? Nothing? Yeah, that's what I thought you said. You fucked up, G. You were incapable of running the shit. I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss classics. This is such a classic movie. I don't care how much time goes by, everybody will forever and always remember Nino Brown.
Go back.
Hopefully subscribe to see more of me. Let's get into this movie. But before we jump into the video, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested this movie. So if you happen to get your hoe, it just keep calling me. I try to kick, but it just keep calling me ass life. It's not because of me. It's because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting me, paying for this content, giving us this New Jack City. You're a real one. Now, getting into this movie was directed by Mario Van Peebles, aka the son of Melvin Van Peebles, and I always thought they were such a dope father-son combination. I love how Mario decided to kind of follow into his father's footsteps to where, we're not just trying to simply be actors, we are trying to create opportunities. We are not going to wait for anybody to come knocking on our door. We're going to create our own movies, write our own scripts, do some directing, and maybe even star in our own films. And we also have Barry Michael Cooper here as a writer who also wrote Sugar Hill and also wrote Above the Rim. We are amongst greatness right now. Now, is this movie perfect? Not at all by any means. Child, some of the acting, some of the writing, the stunt work, the dramatization of it all. But I absolutely love this movie for it being the launching pad for so many actors here who went on to do so much and probably would not have gotten the opportunities that they got later to showcase more talent if it wasn't for this film. Outside of the Dunneman, who had already starred in Do the Right Thing as Radio Raheem, this is for the most part Wesley Snipes stepping out, Ice-T stepping out, Payne stepping out. Such a first for so many great black actors. Now, immediately we open the movie with the soundtrack slapping. Y'all know how I feel about soundtracks. Man, this movie has one of the best soundtracks ever. Another brother wants to win the Hustler of the Year award. How many Benz and BMs can one man afford? Hey, the New Jack in the New Jack City is in full effect as soon as this movie starts. Giving us that Queen Latifah, giving us that troop. You can definitely see why Teddy Riley went on to not only be in this movie, but coin that term for that New Jack swing, for all those great hits that he put out. When this movie is on point and we're in that party element of the New Jack City, in the Spotlight Club, all the dancing, all the clothes, all the hypeness, all the jewelry, all the best elements as far as movies and music that came from the late 80s and the early 90s, it is very present and such a good time in this film. Watching New Jack City, amongst all the crack, you're gonna dance. It's here. Now, even though this movie is very much so dramatized and it makes crack in the 80s look like a freaking third world country war zone, but it's not too far from the truth. Things were absolutely horrible then. Not only were we getting into the effects of the height of crack, but we have AIDS happening, all this poverty, it's affecting the inner cities, contributing to the downfalls of communities, neighborhoods, family, friendships, absolutely a terrible time. And we get to see that nobody is happier about this than a nigga like Nino Brown. The type of man that is unfortunately in every single neighborhood. We see this as not only a come up, but we get power, we get control, we can dominate, distribute, all while bringing up and lifting up everyone around me. Not, the people, the CMB. Now, when I tell you Wesley Snipes showed up and showed out for this role, he is the most memorable thing about the movie. So many quotable lines, so much charisma. See ya, wouldn't want to be like, you ain't got my product or my money, drop him. Like, absolutely love him. He's, that villain that you love to hate in a movie. Before this movie, Wesley did a little yin yang around the house. We did major leagues, maybe something small like Wildcats, but nothing like this role where he got to be the lead. This was his first real opportunity, and he said, I'm going to use it to my advantage. And it absolutely worked in his favor here. The bravado, the clothes, the chain, the smarts. He's arrogant, a drug lord. He, idolizes somebody like Scarface. Wesley Snipes did such a good job in this movie that even though this is the depiction of a fictional drug lord, moving forward with other movie roles, he's treated as if he is a separate real life entity. Even though clearly who he is the inspiration from real life people out there in the world, in the streets. When we watch stuff now, I know me, I'm like, look at that, all them handsome Nino Brown in this story. Like, they trying to Nino shut down the Carter, this whole situation. Sad. Now, we also were introduced to the undercover cop Scotty, aka Ice-T, aka this is my real first movie role and I didn't quite know how to act yet. This ain't business, bitch. This personal. I want to shoot you so bad. My dick is hard. You old Pook. You old. Like, it's very monotone. This is long before we did all of our due diligence and we ended up being synonymous with cops and being undercover and being Detective Finn and Law and Order. No, this is way back in the beginning when every single line of dialogue just sounded like colors, colors, colors. Yeah, I am a nightmare walking psychopath. Like, it is just absolutely stoic. But it's okay. His acting here is not just absolutely terrible 24/7. And him just even here existing within this role really set the precedent for other rappers to kind of do the same. Before, you really didn't have rappers turn actors, but he was one of the first to do it. Scotty is here, of course, as that no-nonsense undercover cop. And he wants nothing more than to rid the mean streets of trash like Nino Brown. Like, y'all remember when Ice-T had appeared in those episodes of New York Undercover and he had killed JC's girlfriend, aka I've seen you kill too many people, Nino. Michelle Michaels, we were totally robbed. Ice-T makes a really, really good villain. Of course, we got more of the on-the-nose situations, undercover cop, and some comedic stuff, but he could have been a Nino Brown. Talent. You don't like my lifestyle, fuck you. Hey, I'm rolling with a New Jack crew. East back, goddammit, I'm a cop. We get into Pookie. We get into Chris Rock here as Pookie, one of his more, beginning roles also. Everybody here did such a good job. I love that he showed up here. The fact that this could have been Martin Lawrence, I cannot even absolutely see it. I have yet to see Chris Rock reach the heights of this role as far as acting in the range that he had to display, going from, stick-up kid to crackhead. Leave it low if you got it, because I feel like we got a lot of comedy. Of course, he is a comedian, but well, we need some more of this. Like, he did so well here with that balance of not only giving us that comedy, but the seriousness of what could happen when somebody gets on drugs. After Scotty shoots him in an undercover deal gone bad, we see Pookie transition from your local lost neighborhood young stick-up kid to the neighborhood junkie crackhead. Come on, man, help me out, man. I know I look like stir-fried shit. Help me out, give me some food. Like, Chris Rock's teeth, like, what y'all put on that man's teeth? The heavy makeup on Chris, like, oh my goodness. He looks so strung out. If there was ever a movie that made me absolutely not want to see or be in the vicinity of some crack, let alone smoke it, it is this one. Pookie looked horrible. I was prom queen of King High School. This is beneath me. Didn't I walk the 6 blocks to get you that pipe from that Arab? Didn't I speak to your mother this morning even though the bitch called me a homeless bastard? Didn't I? We eventually have Scotty take pity on him and want to help him out, get him into rehab and clean him up. But Lord, like, leave the crack alone. Chris Rock did so well here. Child, then we get into all I live is a life of crime. They got my back against the wall. Hey, and my dick is in the dust. Not your dick in the dust. We get in the G Money. G Money here as Alan Payne. Once again, first role, knocked it out of the park. Yeah. Prior to this, I had only seen him as, you know, Lance and The Cosby Show, but he is here as Nino Brown's younger brother, and you get into the dynamics of their relationship right away. Very much so designated to the I have ideas to little brother category. Not that he was jealous of Nino or envious at all, but just that Nino has been very much so in charge, being that big brother, being more of that mastermind, that schemer, the ideas man. He can put things into motion. But all he ever wanted was to be acknowledged and taken serious for what he contributed from the very beginning. Though Nino Brown is very much so a leader, especially in the beginning, they came up as a unit. You even have G Money initially introducing the idea of selling the crack in the first place. They didn't come back for the girls, they came back for the base. And the bitches, oh Lord, the bitches go, oh yeah, we need to sell some of this. It was very much so a joint effort. We get to see this be such a joint effort, not only on the brothers' part, but everybody who was initially a part of the CMB game. We have Keisha and Dudaman here as enforcers that muscle. Yo, step off, Gigantor. Yo, Nino, let me smoke this old dude. Rockabye, baby. Keisha was down and hard as fuck. Keisha was so invested in the CMB. It was not just the brothers. Like Vanessa Williams, once again, one of those early roles coming through with that grittiness. Goddamn, Maxine. What would Kenny and the kids say? Range. And we also have Dunaman coming through enforcing that strong bodyguard, that strong presence, the wonderful Bill Nunn here with practically a non-speaking role due to his stutter, but he still manages to have so much presence just because of who he is. Yo man, you know the rules. The brothers don't do drugs. Shut the fuck up, you non-talking bastard. Yes, I am. Love it. Such classic stuff. We also have the beautiful Michelle Michaels here as Selena, Nino's girlfriend. I really wish they gave her a little bit more to do or some way finessed her character. I swear the bulk of her role is just sitting somewhere looking pretty and sad with her hair to the right, like, oh, why am I here? Clearly, girl, you should have chosen better. I needed a little bit more backstory than what we got as to how she ended up with Nino and thought that he was ever going to be anything more than what he was. Granted, as the movie progresses, he gets a little bit more selfish and they're kind of supposed to have a Scarface, Michelle Pfeiffer, Al Pacino type thing going on, but it really wasn't fleshed out enough. And when we do actually get to hear from her, it's like she's delusional. I've seen you kill too many people, Nino. How could you treat me this way? Like, he treated you so well before. Like, oh, this is just too much. I knew we was about to be, you know, selling all this crack, but now I've seen you kill all these people. I just can't take it no more. Well, girl, what did you think the crack was doing? Like, But we also have have Kareem, the educated brother from the bank, who is just there for the money, aka Christopher Williams, aka, cause if I'm dreaming, then just let me sleep. Don't wake me up till my dream is complete, because I'm dreaming. So leave me alone. Turn off the lights and unplug the phone. Don't wake me. The soundtrack was slapping. But even in the midst of these things, we really get into just how smart Nino Brown is. I don't think we elaborated enough on that in the film. He literally at that point decides to kind of make Kareem the visual perspective and focus of the group along with G Money. So later on, he is not really involved and has his hands on anything. Smart. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's how you kill somebody. You just roll up on a motherfucker and bow! Blow your brains out in broad daylight. Rockabye, baby. They so easily take over the streets and shut down that Carter with no problem. We also try to get into the other side of, the drugs and why somebody like a Nino is able to flourish. Of course, we have the police department, people who just don't give a damn, like this is them over there, that's their neighborhood. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. We can dominate, sell a bunch of drugs, peddle it to all the black people, but who cares? It's black people. As long as you don't bring that shit over here, we ain't coming over to patrol a goddamn thing. So not only can we blow brains out in broad daylight, but we can walk and threaten landlords to give up. You are going to give up those units. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ass naked down the street. Go ahead. Go ahead. Terrible. Nino is freaking terrible. I love the musical elements in this film. Like, don't you just love when artists were just artists and we could get something as simple as a group like Troop. I love Troop. They had a short run, but them niggas could dance, singing a cappella in front of the building, or even, the simple shit like Flavor Flav being the MC in the club. Yo, Dougie Fresh, I think I need a shoehorn. Why? Because these shoes always hurt my corns. 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. You was rocking, I was rocking doing the movie. There is absolutely nobody in this movie to rival Nino Brown or the CMB except for an additional Italian gang on the other side of town who wants their cut, and Nino ain't paying a damn thing. Now they do make it a point to show the transition of Nino Brown. He was so arrogant and already extra to me at first that it's not as huge, but we do see that he at first holds, CMB near and dear. It's a group effort, and then mostly that relationship with his brother, it's about us, our come up, look at what we accomplished. And eventually, after he gained so much money and so much power, he begins to be selfish, arrogant, practically untouchable, because the only people even concerned enough to take him down because they aren't afraid of him is the old man, Bill Cobbs. Old man really wants to stick me. Did anybody ever confuse Bill Cobbs with Bill Cosby? I swear way back when I was a kid, I just knew they were the same person. Bill Cobbs is one of those actors like a Morgan Freeman, like he's been old all your life. But he wants to take his ass out, along with Scotty and his brand new partner, Judd Nelson. Now, when I first saw this movie, whenever I did, and noticed Judd Nelson was here, I was like, what are you doing here, Brat Pack? The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, and all that other stuff is across the street. I always felt like he was so out of place here, but going back to watch it now and seeing where his career went, his career as an actor has been one of those, spicy ones. He's been a little bit of everywhere. So it's not too unusual to see him here now. But he is here with Ice-T to mostly exchange racial slurs. That's like the bulk of their relationship. But they are here to give us some of that buddy cop, oh, we're gonna grow together and in the end we're gonna be friends and start off enemies type of thing. Relate to each other with the one goal in the end pretty much being the same: taking down the CMB and Nino Brown. The only problem is, Scotty, of all people, feels like to infiltrate the Carter, we need to use Pookie, a brand new recovering drug addict. Now, first of all, the Carter, as a crack house for the most part, is the fanciest crack spot that I have ever seen in my life. It's almost like the club, like get in free before 10 type situation. All the drama, all the extraness of the crackheads, like oh my God, they were putting a whole lot on it. That whole scene in the Carter of Pookie explaining, you know, the inner workings of it always reminded me of Night of the Living Baseheads Public Enemy video. Like, they were so extra, but I understand why. But here, you know, we got a whole squad with their little matching CMB outfits on and they little Bobby Brown microphone microphones on their lip, like fancy crack spot. Nobody is for putting Pookie on. Not only does he put faith in Pookie because, you know, he feels like he wants to do something productive now that he's clean, and we also have Scotty putting all of this pressure on Pookie. You owe my mama, my grandmother, my sister, my father, my aunt. God damn, you owe Pook. It is just too much to bear. The depiction of that hold that drugs can have on someone and how hard it was to resist is really shown here in Pookie. He was really trying hard, getting through those CMB doors, getting promoted, all that work, just for him to end up back around that drug and smoke crack yet again. Help me, Scotty, I'm gonna die. Oh, you think I'm stupid? You a high motherfucker. Damn right. When we have Scotty have that whole ass breakdown, it's my fault, man. We didn't even get no evidence, man. The case is closed, man. Pookie's dead, man, and it's my fault. Well, everybody was against it and you sent his ass in there. Like, I think he expected a little bit more from Pookie than what he was ready for. Struggling with addiction, you're not quite ready to go back around the drug and be an informant. Things are starting to crumble down with us having to shut down the Carter. But long before that, things were fucking up already, courtesy of Nino and his behavior towards the CMB, especially when we meet a broad in the club by the name of Uniqua. Why didn't anybody tell me that Uniqua from this movie was goddamn Nola Darling from She's Gotta Have It? Learned that like just 2 days ago. I had no clue that these were the same people. I never took the time to, you know, look her up to see who she was. This has been Nola Darling the whole time. I was so goddamn surprised. Now, was it just me, or was the way that Nino Brown in some points of the movie was acting towards G Money a hint of colorism? I always thought that, you know, they probably had different dads, and somewhere along the line somebody told Nino that he was not the cute brother because he was chocolate and he had some little vendetta. We gonna get on down the line to that when we get into the other pretty motherfucker. But we do see that G Money is the more polite brother, the more sensitive brother. He is not, you know, solely driven and power hungry for money. What he has is enough. His relationship with his brother is enough, but Nino wants more. And since he's not as driven, he from the beginning sees his brother as being weaker than he is. So when he comes to a broad like Uniqua, it is absolutely nothing to see her and snatch her up. Already trying to go for that alpha male that was Nino. She saw what she wanted. But I wish that they could have built up Uniqua to be a little bit more than a hole in a bird, because we have G Money have all this type of attachment to her. You know, my woman. What was Uniqua your woman? When exactly was she your woman? If she is ready to go and flirt with your brother in your face, I don't understand, bro. I don't understand exactly when she was your woman, but I just like to take that with a grain of salt and just say that G Money just was trying to be possessive of her because that was one thing that he had that Nino didn't have, but later on he got her ass anyway. I knew I should have treated your ass like a high-priced hoe. Bitch, put Nino on the phone. He was absolutely done. G Money was hurt. Once we have the Carter shut down, we really get to see where Nino Brown is. We saw, you know, the moral complex as if he had one going further and further down, but it's another thing to inflict it on the family, the CMB, and the people that work for you. And we get that infamous black round table scene. Don't nobody know nothing? All these people in here, and don't nobody know nothing. And this is when we have him take out the time to belittle and embarrass G Money all the way to no end, to where he starts to smoke some crack himself. Like what like he straight up sunned him, bitched him all in front of everybody as if he was just, you know, another little person all the way straggling down the line. Of course, G Money had been feeling this, but to do it right here, right now, in front of all of these people, Was G Money messing up? Absolutely. I think even, prior to the incident with Pookie, he had already started smoking just because he could feel that Nino is making this all about him. He's not even listening, as he wasn't before, to anything that G Money has to say. But G Money was so embarrassed. And even though Nino is just so pissed off, I'm so mad, you're fucking shit up, but you are still my brother. I want to fucking hurt you. He wanted to kill G Money at that moment. But since we couldn't do that, we killed the closest light-skinned pretty motherfucker next to him. Or, we wanted to. Nino! It's something when Dutta Man got Nino out of his system and he didn't stutter one time. He's choking him, stabbing. I never liked you anyway, pretty motherfucker. I really felt like that was for G Money. Like, you've always been a little sensitive, pretty motherfucker. I never liked you. I condone you and I, let you in on my shit just because you're my brother. But I never actually liked you. He loved him as a brother, but as a business partner, G Money was strictly tolerated, and this rolled over into their brotherhood. I can love you all day if you're making shit happen, but if you're fucking shit up and you're incapable of running the shit, oh, you can go, you can get the fuck out of here, just like everybody else. From that point on in the movie, the way that he decided to treat G Money in that moment causes an entire down spiral for the entire CMB moving forward. Not only do we have G Money continuing to smoke crack, but we also have him be all too instantly trusting of Scotty and Judd Nelson, trying to cut a side deal because now G Money is filled with all this envy. He's all mad, not feeling like he's a part of the team, leaving the window open for Scotty to get close to Nino, almost being his right-hand man, spending all of this time together. I love how they always threw in that whole contrived situation of Nino randomly happening to have killed Scotty's mother on the street as some random bitch after he smokes angel dust. Like, what? Who wrote that? But I always forget one thing about this movie. Nino did warn G Money. You are bringing this man in here. If he's not who he says he is, I'm gonna kill him. And I'm going to kill you. Things are never going to be the way that they were before, and the CMB is crumbling. Especially when we are at a wedding. We have Keith Swift begging. He's singing some shit, but he was begging per usual. But we have Keisha. Keisha fucking dies. Like, the way that Keisha died and she voluntarily ran her ass in front of them stray bullets to just intentionally die just for the plot. I was like, well, goddamn, we couldn't do nothing else? I love how we have Scotty here, deep ass undercover, but we need more and more proof. Can we catch him in a drug buy? Can you get him on tape? Can we get nothing is ever enough. Leading Scotty to the warehouse where all of a sudden we recognize who Mr. Washington is, Christopher Williams. Yo, Keisha, I think I know that dude from somewhere. Took you long enough, didn't it? Yo, he's 5'0", man. Oh, I love that scene when we see like G Money shit drop. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have been smoking that crack. I done fucked up the thing. Messed it all the way up. Now, I love this scene because it makes me think about what Mario Van Peebles once said. I wanted to write a movie where you not only rooted for the cops, but you rooted for the villains. Because, child, when Dutta Man gets shot, I'd be so emotional. Like, goddamn, why you couldn't just let him kill you, Judd Nelson? Why y'all had to kill Dutta Man? But you liked everybody here equally. This is also the scene where they decide to all of a sudden make Nino Brown turn into Simon Phoenix real quick, and he's a whole fucking ninja warrior, incognito, dressing the part, dropping down from the ceiling, slitting throats and shit. I was like, what the fuck? When did he go to Nam? Like, what is going on? But he just happens to get out unscathed with G Money, and we get the Am I my brother's keeper, and we have G Money. We were never that. We have G Money express like, you didn't do this shit by yourself. Like, you made me feel some type of way, and this is why I ended up the way that I am. But I very much so love you, and I just want us to start over. And he don't want to hear that shit. Like, I already made a promise and I'm going to stick by it. I cannot have you jeopardize the shit. You're incapable of running the shit. I have to kill you. Like, that's like the one time in the movie that we do see Nino Brown show some emotion. He just had to kill his own brother to get it. Sick. I love how he goes, I'm on the run, G. And then we cut to the scene like he's on the run, G, but he's like literally down the street hiding out in some projects in the same city, where Scotty rolls up on him and whips his ass in front of everybody. I was like, what the fuck? He was just a ninja warrior, a whole assassin. a few scenes ago. Up in this goddamn apartment with Uniqua. You think I give a fuck about her? I don't give a fuck about that bitch. She showed here. But you know, birds fly. But even though Scotty wants to shoot him so bad, all the people are out there cheering like, yeah, whoop his ass. Like, it's a whole fucking moment for the city. And Scotty just wants to kill him. I need this nigga gone right now. This is fucking personal. But it's like, no, Scotty, we're gonna do this the right way. We're gonna go to trial in court. The law, the system is gonna deal with a nigga like Nino Brown. Not Nino, because he has been prepping for this moment from the very beginning. I love how we have him, Kareem, the educated brother from the bank. Like, that is such a good scene. Miss Hawkins. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Miss Hawkins. That's probably the biggest scene where we get to have Nino display just how smart he is. We see it in the movie, you know, via the plotting and the planning, but just you know, book smarts. I love how he kind of tries to turn everything on his head, like, y'all should make these things legal. Let's get, you know, to the big kahunas of what's really happening here. You guys are worried about me without really dealing with the initial problem. None of us own a poppy field. Like, I ain't cooking up no crack and no heroin, sitting no coke. That shit is coming on a boat from way across yonder. None of us own any Uzis. Like, I'm very much so just a link in the chain, just a small dot in the bigger scheme of things, even though, like, you still shouldn't be out here murdering people, bro. It's not okay. But he had prepared already. From the moment that he met Kareem, he had already made sure that he wasn't anywhere near anything, that he was running shit from the very top. My name ain't on nothing. I'm not in any videos. Kareem, the educated brother from the bank that's sitting there when his ass should have really been on the run, is the one who is responsible. He gets a fucking year and Scotty dies. I should have shot you myself, bitch. Like, he says that hard bitch. It was very, very Ice-T ass bitch. Don't get mad. It's the law. Like, he's so arrogant, and at that moment, Scotty is just so disappointed. The courtroom is disappointed, and Nino couldn't be more happy. Hi, Mom. Like, he is having the freaking time of his life. But wait, an old man said, I don't want to hear that shit. You gonna get your day in court today, nigga. Rolled up with the old Pele ass gun, that old Bonanza ass gun. One shot to the chest takes Nino the fuck out. Always love Judd Nelson in that scene. He does a little smile like, you know, yeah, well, okay. Nobody gave a whole goddamn. But sad thing is, there will always and forever be more Nino Browns and another one to come directly after this one. This is what happens in a New Jack City. Well, you guys, that was my review for a New Jack City. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me what you think about my video. I really hope you guys had a good time. I really had fun making this. Hopefully it shows through the screen. I look forward to reading you guys' comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.